Hello, hello. Hello everyone. Trying out my intro on this. I don't know. We're playing with things. First of all, welcome to everyone that's here right now. Um if you're watching live, welcome. If you happen to be watching on the replay, I want to welcome you as well. My name is EmilyHanhan. This is my friend Audra at home. If you're not used to me, I like to curse, which is why my intro is what it is. So, just wanted to put that out there for warning anyone that's here live or happens to be new. Um, and Audra and I do this, we do live streams twice a week, Tuesdays on Audra's channel, Thursdays on my channel. And I'm okay, wait, do a quick welcome to people because I see a lot of familiar faces. I see Casey and Alex and Alex, all the Alexes and Ani and Liz and Becky, Shalar, welcome back. Sharon,
Hey.
like the best mod of the town, mod slash live stream attendee across the board.
Yes.
Just
Sharon's
like
been at literally every single one of my Twitch streams.
every Twitch stream, every YouTube stream. Welcome Angie and oh yes, this exactly. Tia put it perfectly. Sharon's moderator of the week. Sharon happily greets everybody that comes into the chat.
Yes.
And Josh, I see you here, Killer King. Somebody here might be
I'm gonna DM you, Josh.
Your makeup. And Kalina and Isabel and Maisha, Cecily and Eeyore and Day. Josh says I'm at work, but I'm gonna try to be here as much as I can. I've lots of opinions on this topic. Okay, so that's a good gateway in. So if you are not new around here, we talk about PR and kind of life as a small creator on YouTube and also our experience as viewers of other creators a lot. I feel like it's like a fairly regular topic, but that's because we always have things to say. So tonight we were kind of thinking about that's okay. That's okay. Do you need to take a break to rain?
No,
are you okay? Okay.
He's just making noise like he does.
It happens. Yes. So, oh yeah, I know I have my mustard one. I need to break that one in more. It's still a little small for my big head. Lacey, welcome. Lacey was watching Tuesdays live and remembered it was Thursday. And you know what? If you haven't subscribed and maybe turn on the notification bell for my channel, now's the time to do that. And you should also do that for Audra. So we've talked about PR before. We've talked about kind of creator life before. But if you saw the thumbnail, like a lot of the pre-conversation we had in my head boiled down to like, we kind of need to stop blaming influencers for our shopping habits.
Yeah.
But we have a ways to get there. So I think, well, Audra had a great way when we were talking yesterday, talking about the way we look at creators or influencers. Celebrities had held that spot for decades. They were the original salespeople. Would you like to kind of go from there?
Well, I mean, I think it's very interesting that people will get upset at influencers, regardless of if it's in the beauty space, whatever space it's in. But people will get upset at influencers and be like, oh, all they do is sell stuff. Like you don't have a Starbucks cup and you're not going to Starbucks for the coffee. It doesn't taste good. The reason everybody even started having Starbucks and taking pictures with Starbucks is because you saw celebrities with them. You saw Britney Spears walking in the street with her Starbucks cup, and that became a status symbol you having Starbucks in your pics became like a thing, right? So that was a form of PR, regardless. Like it's a form of PR. Whether they were, because listen, I don't think that they were paying for that Starbucks. I'm not saying that they asked for it to be free. I'm saying if you walked into my Starbucks and you're fucking Britney Spears, I'm paying for your Starbucks. I don't give a shit. Like I know you can afford it, but I'm really excited. So like,
well, also because it started out with they were buying it, but then as soon as the company saw, oh, this gets photographed, this gets in paparazzi photos, then it was just kind of like, okay, just give it to them,
yeah.
more or
Because
less.
and they
Yeah.
grew based off of that, right? Like, let's not act like Starbucks just blew up the way it did by accident. So realistically, when you're looking at celebrities have been selling us shit for a very, very long time with no
Clothing
complaint.
too.
Yes, like
Yeah.
clothing, makeup, jewelry, perfume. There's a reason why at
Bags,
every single one of the
shoes.
like events, the awards and stuff, they ask them what they are wearing, and
Because
like
they're
they ask them
almost
like questions.
always linked to them. So like
Thank you.
the Tom Ford dress, the Cartier jewels, yeah, some really rich people own those things, but more often than not, it's like, we'll put this on your body because you're gonna say our name all night. That's
Yes.
PR. So like that, I think that's the other thing is I think people don't understand that the way celebrities wore certain brand name clothing, even in paparazzi photos,
Mm-hmm.
at shows, all of that, like that's that's the same marketing and brainwashing. Like you fell trapped to that. A lot of us fell into that trap for decades, and maybe we still are,
Yeah.
but we're looking at our community. I call it our community because I feel like a lot of people here in the chat are maybe small creators or just viewers, supporters. People look at this community and want to demonize it when we've been built off of what was successful before.
And also inherently, there's nothing wrong with selling anything. Like there's
No.
nothing inherently wrong with selling something. There just isn't. Like there's the majority of stuff that I have purchased in my life as an adult has been because someone else told me it was good. Even if your
Yeah.
friends don't get shit for free, they went and bought something, they tell you about it. Like that is a form of selling, like, oh my gosh, I love this. And like you go buy it. So it's not, we can't sit here and act like YouTube. And I think that the reason that people get this way about YouTube is because you don't have access to celebrities. You don't have access to Britney Spears. You don't have access to Gaga. You don't have access to Pink. So since you don't have access to them, it feels different somehow because you're like, well, they're not my friend, right? With the parasocial relationship, like Abby was talking about, Abby Williamson on her video, with that parasocial relationship, you can kind of feel like this person is your friend. And since they're your friend, you're going to take this recommendation and you're like, yep, this is my friend. I'm buying things for my friend. And it just kind of, you're closer to them and have access in a way that you would never, I would never have access to the celebrities I want to have access to Justin Long. So,
Welcome, Yolanda. And yes, influence among friends is my jam as well. Like, I actually love. Oh, I'm sorry. I knew this was going to happen, and I wish. Anyway, I knew that was going to happen. It happened. We're all good now. For now. For now. But anyway, like, I think that the other part of no, I agree with Yolanda. Influence among friends is amazing. It's one of my favorite things because, and they don't have to be my friends actually, because I look at somebody like a lot of the creators that I follow that I tend to be influenced by the most. They're not necessarily my friends. I'm aware of that, but I have watched enough their videos. I've maybe interacted with them on Twitter, on Instagram, in the comment section. I've communicated with them in a way where there is some level of trust. And remember, we talked about this before. Celebrities took that away from us. They said we don't want paparazzi following us. We don't want that kind of access. So since we lost that, exactly, since we lost what felt like access to us, now we have just transitioned to YouTubers, TikTokers, Twitter influencers, Instagram influencers to get our recommendations or our sales from.
Yeah, and I think that when you look at it from the perspective of how long celebrities were doing that, right? And
Mhm.
we would, the things that we would buy, like if you guys remember if you all remember the old movie, which is one of my favorites, Josie and the Pussycats. This
Yes.
movie is just like Wayne's World, just like right there ahead of its time, talking about how much we are sold to all the time. And you see how all these people, because like whatever band was famous at the time, some boy band that they had made, I can't remember what they were called, but you see how they like took that, and everything that these boys did was just like everybody wanted to do with the exact same thing. And as soon as it changed, the tides changed. Like, oh, we're not doing that anymore. And the same thing
Yeah.
happens in makeup, right? We go from
Yeah.
full coverage to like, okay, now we're just like full gloss, like glossy, like smooth skin. And you feel this like urge that you have to join on, even if that's
Yeah.
not your deal. So when celebrities did this for so long, we didn't really question it. We didn't really think about it. Like when they're on there sitting there, when they were all selling us Proactive, not a one of us was saying a damn thing up until like the beauty community really started to rise. And as the
Yeah.
beauty community started to rise, we are like, wait, you mean to tell me, wait, what Photoshop? Because we heard Photoshop. We'd
Yeah.
heard of Photoshop. We just didn't truly understand it until there were more and more beauty creators like showing you like, this is what I look like before I do anything to the photo. And this is what I look like after. Because we, in our minds, we understood Photoshop to mean like, oh, maybe you're taking in a little fat here and there that you don't want to see. Maybe you felt like you had a double chin in this photo, but you like the photo, so you're going to remove the double
Yeah.
chin. We did not realize the extent of Photoshop until, like, honestly, for me, I didn't. And I feel like a lot of people didn't either until Beauty YouTube, until they started being like, no, you can completely reshape your face. You can pop the colors. You can do this. You can do that. You can add
Wait,
freckles. And
did
you're
you
like,
never see that cover? I found out because of magazine covers. Do you remember there was a magazine that had Faith Hill on the cover, and they made her already skinny or slender body. They made her arm so thin.
oh, yeah.
And so I was like vaguely aware of it, but I remember when that happened and then everyone was like, "Oh, this is a bad thing." It's funny to think about how people were like, "This is such a terrible thing," to see how
Mm-hmm.
far we've come today
I
in
know.
good
Now
and
look at
bad
it. We're like,
ways.
but
But
yeah, I mean,
like, yeah, oh, go
we
ahead.
didn't realize how much they were selling to us things that weren't true.
Yeah.
And then when
Well,
they started retreating and saying like, leave us alone, we don't want you bothering us, we're people, which, okay, I get you. But as soon as they started doing that, and then YouTube started rising and you started having access to your favorite creators in a way that you wouldn't never have access to a celebrity, suddenly anytime the veil got dropped or lifted, people were just turning around like, huh, what?
yeah. Well, and I think I also wanted to like I think a lot of people in our audiences are in or around our age range, but I also want to think
Mm,
about this from the perspective I'm 36. Audra is 40. Do you mind? I
40.
don't okay, 40.
No, I don't care.
Um and so I remember the wave of like, I remember hearing, maybe it wasn't as a kid, but as a teenager, like, oh, old TV shows used to have these like built in ads. And it was such a weird thing because like Dick Van Dyke would be like, like, here's a blah, 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 like what in the middle
Mhm.
of a show. And I
Yeah.
remember everyone was like, huh, what? But then I remember watching the flow of specifically music videos all of a sudden, and I think I've talked about this in a live stream where I remember noticing it and being cognizant of what I was seeing. It was Gaga and Beyonce's Telephone. The
Yes.
beginning of the video had the phone with Verizon on it for a good 10 seconds is what it felt like. Like it was a very obvious like still shot on the phone to brand it. And that's when it clicked in my head where I'm like, "Oh no, we're going back to that." And I think that's the thing that I see in beauty YouTube where I can understand people maybe not trusting it because they're not
Mhm.
disclosing things.
Yeah.
But just because people are getting product, getting PR, it doesn't mean they're not trustworthy.
Correct.
You just have to be aware of who you're watching and who you're listening to, and how people are interacting with product on their channel.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to see some intense product placement, watch the Transformers movies, please. Yeah, exactly. Like we don't realize how often they put there is an entire season of Bones that was super weird
It was a
because every
car.
time they turned around, they were talking about that damn Toyota Prius. And like every time they got in the car, you know, she would go to park and he's like, aren't you going to look? She's like, I don't have to. The Prius parks for me. And I was just like, have I fallen into an alternative universe? Because they were trying to go back to that old school thing where, like you were saying, Dick Van Dyke would be like, oh, and speaking of being thirsty, have you had this water yet? You know, and like we'd talk about it. And
Yeah.
so it was just an odd season to watch because one, we are not used to product placement being so like bold like that. But it was very awkward to watch because again, we're not used to seeing it. I'm telling Isabel, every time they got in the car, it was
Yeah.
literally something about the Prius. Like, well, it's got really good mileage. I like that. It's earth friendly. I like that. And it was really strange.
It
So
was
it's
just
like,
very weird. And it was funny because I had seen product placement that was like, maybe it wasn't subtle, but it was unspoken. And then you see product placement like that, where you're like, oh,
yeah.
okay, this is weird.
Yeah. So like definitely celebrities were our first introduction into having people, I think for a lot of us, having actual people that you recognize and see sell you stuff as opposed to like random model, right? Because I'm not being mean to models. I'm saying random model isn't the same as the
Yeah.
celebrity that you've been reading info about in a magazine and watching their interviews where they're like, I like the color blue. And you're like, me too, we're cousins. So like,
And actually, I think that's why so many models went into trying to act or sing or otherwise, because they were trying to connect. Because I
yeah,
also think that was a change from like early 90s, Kate Moss, that whole era of models to like late 90s, 2000s, where celebrities were either modeling or models were trying to turn into celebrities.
yes. And to add on to what you're saying, or a different point that you brought up, which is like just
Yeah.
because you get PR doesn't mean you're untrustworthy. Here's a weird thing. I understand that the beauty community got like a shot to the face because of all of the undisclosed sponsorships. I get it, you
Cough,
know.
cough, Morphe.
Right. Yeah, you know, I get it. I get it. People didn't realize that they were putting money in the pockets of the influencers, and therefore, because with the celebrities, you understood that they got paid to do this commercial. You got that. You did not realize that your influencers were out here getting paid every time you click the link. Like some of it was just like just clicking the link was getting them paid. So
Exactly.
you didn't realize that. And I understand feeling a certain way about that deception. But you have to realize that, like I said in my video where I was talking about how I'm not going to say that I'm honest, you either believe me or you don't. I cannot change that for you. You can say I'm untrustworthy. You can say I'm a liar. It's very irritating because this narrative arrives every time somebody sees a creator they like get PR. And a lot of this was stemmed from a video that both Emily and I have seen. I'm not going to link it or anything.
Oh
It was
yeah.
just a really nasty video with a lot of xenophobia and a lot of what I would say jealousy. Because I think a lot of times when people say that they won't take PR because they don't
And
want
that
to have
they
a
don't
bias,
trust other people
and
that take PR.
yes, they're like, oh, well, I don't have a bias, so I don't take PR and I don't trust PR. And I'm like, well, probably because nobody sends it to you, first of all. Have a good day.
Also, every single person has bias.
Mm-hmm.
No one is unbiased. It's just that PR presents a different complication to it all. None of you are unbiased. Whether
Thank you.
you really want something or you really hate it or somewhere in between, those are biases.
Thank you. Like, for instance, if I already don't like a brand and I buy a new release from the brand. I already have a bias against said brand, right?
Yeah.
When I got the Cosmic Oasis palette, right? I already like Josh.
Yes.
So when I went and bought that bitch, I was like, well, I know I'm going to have bias there because I like Josh.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a bias if it's a product. Like, for instance, I like Samantha Ravindal. So I'm going to have a bias for Auric. I'm not getting it in PR, but I might buy it. I'm going to have a bias because I like them as a person. Right. So
Yeah.
I like that person. So that bias is going to be for them. There are other creators I don't like. So because I don't like them, there's a good chance I won't even buy their shit. Because if I buy it, my dislike of them is going to come through of me being like, yeah, I don't even like this. Like, this is so boring and I hate it and I hate you so much.
This is a conversation we had earlier today, like off camera. I just don't fucking like ColourPop. Very much a Captain Obvious statement.
Mm-hmm.
Christie's palette with the greens tempted me. All like other things tempt me. But I'm like, because I know you have a ColourPop video in the works, and I'm just like, I'm not going to spend my money there because I've been burned so many times that I am at the point where I'm so biased where I'm like, I don't fucking care if you get better. You're a piece of trash company to me and I don't want to give you my money, even if it's better, because I've already wasted probably hundreds of dollars there. So no, I'm not giving you more money now that maybe you're decent. Like, so that's why I'm like, even if it would be a cool, interesting release, I probably wouldn't buy it, even if I was intrigued by it and wanted to review it for my channel, because I know my bias is so anti that brand that it would have to take a lot for me to be impressed, and I would just be the bitter ColourPop bitch on my channel no matter what.
Yeah,
So
and
like,
it's the same way people get upset if a large amount of creators like another creator's collab. There is going to be listen, even if I don't like a creator, I am not trying to stand in the way of them getting their bag unless it's Skeletor, okay? Unless it is Pastel Skeletor, I'm not going to try to stand in the way of you getting your bag. I can dislike you for a number of reasons, but I'm still going to congratulate you on your collab. I'm still going to say like, hell yeah, because this isn't what I'm not going to do is bring out my dislike of you onto the internet. That's not how it works. So I'm still going to say like, congratulations to so-and-so for this collaboration.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to buy it because I know I don't like them. So me not liking them means that when I get said product, I am already going to be kind of shitty about it. Like, I didn't want to buy it in the first place. I don't like them. Now I'm going to be mean because I don't like it. And when it comes to us being kind to other creators, when we buy their collections, a part of that is because we all know we wouldn't want someone shitting on us. Like, that's where that bias comes from. We don't want someone shitting on us. If I had a collab, I would be devastated if a large number of creators were just trash talking my product. Like, I would be upset, like I would be devastated. And so that's why people are softer with them. They may not like that, right? I know.
I also think this also interlay, like there's these layers of complication as a creator as your channel grows, because even when you think that you're like, oh, I am an honest, a 100% person, the pressures of just not being like publicly so judgmental can get like, it's gotten to me, and I don't want it to affect the way I review things or the way I approach my channel, but it just makes me consider what I want to say publicly on the internet a little bit more. And I think this also goes into the bias that people see when creators get PR. And it's like, if somebody is reviewing products and they are mostly just talking about the positives of the product and they touch on the things they don't like but they don't harp on them, I don't mind that. And I don't think that that's like, oh, you're so biased with your PR. Like, I
Yeah.
understand when people say, I get really frustrated by creators that only say the positives about PR they get. That I kind of understand because
Mm.
I'm like, yeah, you might say these 6 colors in this palette are really pigmented, but you're not telling me that the other 6 colors in the palette are trash. And
Yeah.
that's kind of frustrating.
Well, yeah,
Um,
'cause I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would definitely lie. Like, here's the thing I can't lie about. Yes, it's going to give you a bit of a bias having PR. It is going to
yeah,
give you a bit of a bias. And the bias isn't that you want to stay on a PR list, because that's not where my bias comes from. A lot of my bias comes from the fact that the brands that I'm getting PR from are smaller brands. They're indie brands. So I do
yes.
not want to shit on an indie brand on my channel all for everyone to see. That's not really what I want to do. I don't
Yeah.
want to take somebody who's worked their ass off to get to where they're getting, and if I don't like it, I don't like it, right? And I had told Emily and a few people, if you were on my Twitch stream, when I did that Ferocious Beauty Darkness Rising, y'all need to understand one very important thing. The reason I was on my phone and had answered the phone and was talking to my mom while applying that is because my intent was that I was just going to I was going to cut the video and crop it to where you would just see this part, and I was going to talk, because I didn't expect it to do what it did. I just expected
Yeah.
to be like, okay, it's just going to be a palette, like whatever. The shock you see is real, because I'm sitting there talking to my mom and I'm like, what the fuck is go what? So, I do that a lot. I do that a lot with my first impression eyeshadow palettes. I've been talking to Emily before. I've talked to my mom. I'm talking to many of my friends on Marco Polo while I'm doing it, because my expectation is not to be blown away. My expectation is never to be blown away, because then it just, like, it's weird for me. But um
Well, and
yeah, go ahead.
oh no, did you want to keep going?
No, I started sweating. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So so the other part of the like how okay, PR creators getting PR. So the thing that frustrates me the most, especially when we're comparing celebrity culture to kind of like creator culture. So we shit talk celebrities for being dishonest or just being salespeople. We also say that we don't have much of a personal connection. But then we sit here talking about how parasocial relationships are so toxic, which they do have an ability to be toxic. But my feelings are like, if a creator that you follows gets PR and you all of a sudden don't trust them, you didn't trust them from the beginning. So
Thank you.
why were you watching them? The thing is that and again, I think this is an age difference because I think about I watched Jaclyn Hill back in like the midst of the white Morphe palette coming out. That palette and so many other cult products I almost bought. I was so tempted to buy, but I was mature enough that I was like, do I really trust? I don't know. And so that stopped me, and I didn't know the indie world then. And I was just like, I definitely bought some shit back then. But I think about it now where I'm like, if you don't trust a creator because they got PR, then you should stop following them, period, because you never trusted them.
Yeah. You were like, because here's the thing. And if you did trust them, there's a problem with you, that the idea that they got something free makes them not trustworthy, right? Because
Yeah.
in to Annie's point, excuse me, I always want to say Annie, I'm sorry. Um, talking about, where did it go?
You
I'm
can
so
love
sorry.
anything the first time you use it. What about the 10th? The first
Yeah,
impressions versus reviews. Yeah.
the things really aren't really reviews now as much as first impressions and never heard of again. And this is the thing about that. When you have smaller creators, right? When you're not getting PR, and even if you're getting a little bit of PR, smaller creators have more opportunity to reuse products and do get
Yeah.
ready with me. That I will definitely give a little bit of grace to larger creators who are getting large amounts of PR, because that does change the game. I mean, imagine you're getting the Hated Color Pop, you're getting
Yeah.
L'Oreal, you're getting like virtually every brand that we can think of. It's coming to their house.
Yeah.
It gets very difficult for them to keep playing with the same stuff. But that's like, oh, my ear itches. I'm so sorry. My ear itches
But
so bad.
also, the views are not for going back to the, so we have a very special community, but generally speaking, and I just see this from a small creator standpoint, going back to old products don't get the views. They do
True.
not get the views. So as a larger creator, if you're already getting so much product in on a regular basis and you're getting feedback from YouTube through views, through AdSense, that older going back to product videos don't get the views,
Mm-hmm.
and you're making decisions of what to do, you're gonna pick the new products. Does it suck that everything's a first impression? Everything is like you open the product once, put it on, and you're like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. No, but that's again the creators that you're following. Like, you can try something for the first impression and still get some sense of how you feel about the product that's not just blowing smoke up the brand's ass. Um, so that's the thing that, like, I understand why first impressions are frustrating and why more people that are really love makeup want to see people go back to product.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that the feedback isn't there. And as a creator, having like putting time and money and energy into a video that doesn't get the views and doesn't get the response, it's depressing. And it's also
It is
bad for your
depressing.
YouTube channel. Like, it's also bad for your actual, like, your channel. And when it's like a person with 1 million plus subscribers, I actually don't really care. But if you're 100K or under, it matters. Every video matters. Yes, congrats to Audra about becoming a Twitch affiliate. Um,
Spiders,
but
lots of spiders.
but yeah, so I just think that it's interesting that, like, people say, they don't want to see first impressions, they want to see reviews, they want to see, but do they actually want to see it?
Yeah, and here's the thing, you do. Like, so this is one of the reasons why Get Ready With Me is, I think, are becoming more popular again.
Yeah.
One, because people can just chat and talk and not necessarily be speaking about their product. But like for my palette things, whenever I'm doing a video where I'm going to just be chatting, I'm literally going to tell you, like, this is the palette I'm going to use.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to, from there, I'm just going to put on my makeup and do my business. But I'm telling you, like Emily was saying, it just doesn't work out for you to come back to the product. Be like, do
Yeah.
I still like, if you do it as a, do I still love this? Like, you can probably get some views off of that. Like,
Yeah.
do I still love my January favorites? Do I still
Yeah.
love like my January 2019 favorites? Do I still love them? You can get views there. But for you to do, like, it's one of the reasons why I do my bops and flops in the format I do it in. And I'm always going to go back to that, because I did it in that format because I realized I have a lot of makeup. I have a lot of it. And I can't necessarily use what's up? Sides and halves. Anyways, but I can't
Yeah,
necessarily
this
use
is
all this
why
shit.
favorites videos or favorites and fails or bops and flops, like, that's why they're good videos to make, because you
Yeah.
can go back to products and it can be a product that you got 2 weeks ago. It could be a product that you got 2 years ago. And you can be like, wow, I forgot how much I really I really like the Fenty Gloss formula. I just reused it recently and I was like, oh, fuck, I need to use this more often. Like,
Yeah, it could be this
legitimately.
mystery foundation I have on my face, which I'm fucking shocked by. It could be a number of things.
Yeah.
So it's
So
like,
I think that's the thing is, like, I think people see first impression videos and they don't see any follow up, but it might just be that it's in, and I'm not talking about big creators, but I'm talking about
yeah,
the small to mid-sized ones where I'm like, you can find more information, but it's just not in the videos you're expecting, kind of
yeah.
thing.
Because there's
Um,
videos where you expect, you think you're gonna get views and then you don't. So you're like, oh, and you might make it one more time, like
yeah,
uno más tiempo, pero after that, no more. And
yeah,
people would be like, well, you have to let it get traction. And you're like, the thing is, I don't have enough subscribers. Not saying that I'm upset about the amount of subscribers I have. What I'm saying is, I don't have a platform large enough to be able to play with that. There's
Yeah.
only so much that I can do. I have maybe 3 times of trying something, and if it doesn't hit each, like if it doesn't get better incrementally like each time, then I'm like, okay, I can't keep doing this, because the first time I did it, it got 500 views. The second time I did it, it got less views. The third time I did it, it got about the same as the first. So I'm just done. People aren't interested, and that's okay. And not saying that the 500 people who were interested in it don't matter. It's just that algorithms are algorithms.
And I'm also one person with only a limited amount of time. And I personally don't create videos at the rate that I would like to, that I would like to have on my channel. So if I'm going to make a video, I either want it to be one that I really enjoy and I'm just like, fuck y'all, I really enjoy it, I'm gonna do it. Or it's one that I enjoy, but I also know it's going to hit. So,
and here's the fun fact. Like doing the bops and flops. Well, I'm over creating right now. Actually, I'm kind of surprised at myself.
That's why I was like, I'm over here being like,
I'm kind of doing this because I'm like, Audra, stop making videos. You haven't even edited them all. It's like fucking. But anyways, but the thing is, when it comes to choosing to trust a creator, the last point before we just like open up, but the creators are not responsible for the choices I make.
Yes. For the
like everybody knows
choices.
My hatred of Tower 28. Now, my hatred of Tower 28 still comes from Tower 28. I am mad at myself for buying into the hype. Yes, I am. I'm mad at myself because I bought into this hype and I bought it. And I shouldn't have bought it because I knew that they only had 2 shades. 2 shades. And knowing that they only had 2 shades, my dumb ass should not have gotten a hold of the hype. And listen, I cannot blame all of the creators who liked it. I can't yell at Kate the Great and be like, how dare you like this product? I got it and I fucking hate it. It's terrible. Doesn't bronze. Like, I can't blame that on her. And it doesn't make her less trustworthy because I bought a product because my dumb ass didn't pay attention to like, there's really 2 shades. And I looked at it and was like, there's 2 shades.
It's also 2 shades and it's a cream product, which you are not, it's not always your favorite thing.
Yeah.
I think just realizing that like your buying choices, your buying decisions, you really cannot blame other people on. And I know that's like very base level, but the reality is that to me, this also goes back to trusting the people you watch. But then I actually thought about this other part of it. So you, Audra, you said this to me before about foundation matching and how a lot of people, one of the reasons why they struggle when they are trying to foundation match online, and I don't know if this is, I don't think this is always the case, but I do think this is a good point, is that people will look at the person that's most attractive to them within their shade range. And I think there is something about when you have an influencer or creator that you follow that you really are fond of, that whether you are crushing on them in a platonic or a romantic way, whether you just are fascinated with how they do their makeup or how pretty they are, or how whatever it is, sometimes that can block you from actually thinking, wait, are skin types even similar to my knowledge? Are eye shapes similar? Do we actually apply similar kinds of makeup? Do we like similar kinds of lipsticks? Like, I adore Thorn, but every lipstick Thorn loves, which is a liquid lipstick, I'm like, must not buy, even though I'm like beautiful being of this otherworldly being, but I'm just like, nope, must not buy that because that's not my style, that's not my preferences. But I think people are like, oh, so and so recommends this. Okay, but they might have oily skin and you have dry sensitive skin, or they might have dry sensitive skin and you have normal skin, and it's just like, so maybe that's why the foundations don't work the same.
Yes, like when people have,
it's not because they were untrustworthy.
Yes, it's just because here's the thing. I love Laura May Beauty. I think that Laura May Beauty is very transparent about what they do and how they do it. And for people to go, oh, well, I knew that because Lauren liked that Wired palette from Urban Decay, and like, well, I knew that's when I knew that they were no longer to be trusted. And I'm like, so what you're saying is, and they're like, because everybody else knew it was trash. And I'm like, so what you're saying is, out of the creators you watched, almost all of them hated it. You found one person who liked it. Those other people also probably got it in PR, BT dubs. They got it in PR as well. And since they all hated it, and then Lauren liked it, somehow that turned them into a monster, and like, oh, well, they got it in PR and that's why they liked it. I'm like, or if you've been watching Lauren's channel, I was not surprised that they liked it.
Yeah.
Was not at all surprised that they liked it, because if you watch their style and the type of makeup they like, that fits them.
Yeah. It's just like how there are some colorful eyeshadow like people like on Instagram, on YouTube, whose looks I absolutely can swoon over, but I have to kind of ignore their specific recommendations because somebody like Lauren May Beauty is more of the way Lauren works with matte shadows is more of the way I work with them. Whereas that's why in my beauty resolutions tag that I did, I was like, I really want to make an effort when I'm buying new matte eyeshadows to figure out, is this a brand that's doing that pressed pigment format where you really just want to pack it on and lightly blend the edges and layer in that way? Or is it a brand like the Lethals of the world, like my experience with this new Nomad palette, the Nomads of the world, where I can do my fluffy, blended, blurred out kind of looks? Because I can look at somebody and be like, wow, that look is amazing. I want that palette. But then I have to realize, like, no, but that's not my eyeshadow. Like, that's not the kinds of eyeshadows that I actually like.
Yeah, because like the RBK Pure, there were some people who absolutely loved it and enjoyed working with it. There were other people who didn't. And here's the fun fact. The people who didn't like it are people that I already trusted, and the people who liked it were people I trusted. So like for me, I knew I didn't want to get it because of varying reasons, and I just wasn't interested in that particular palette, right? But the people that I trusted, whether they liked it or didn't like it, and I had some of both, I didn't suddenly change my mind because they liked it, right? I wasn't like, oh, well, they liked it. I knew it. Yeah. They got it in PR. Christy sent it to them. They're a liar. They're a liar. Do you see that? You see that? They like something I don't like. They like something I don't like. They like, I don't like it. And they like it. They're a liar. Liar. You know, like.
Well, and that's the thing is that, like, again, chemistry, your skin chemistry, your like all of that can affect how eyeshadows apply for you. So something that can look like trash on you can apply beautifully to somebody else because of their skin type, the primers they're using, the brushes they're using. That doesn't make them a liar. And I also think it's an interesting conversation. So people in the chat were talking about how Laura May works with Ofra and somebody said they specifically feel like Lauren started using Ofra because she received PR or they're working with them. Here's the thing. For me, I already have my biases against Ofra as a brand. For me, I might try more of their highlighters in the future, but right now, none of their eye products really draw me in. So I might still watch videos with Lauren working with those shadows because I'm inspired by her creativity, but I'm not watching it to shop. And I can separate the two. And sometimes I can't separate the two and I have to turn something off because I'm like, well, maybe I do want to try that. And then I'm like, no, we're not doing this right now. But I also am happy that people can get paid to do work. And please, can we stop saying that we don't trust people that get PR, but then we watch other people that get sponsorships?
Fact. Okay.
All of us would take money over product any fucking day.
I would take money every day of the week.
Every damn day. I would create videos for brands for money every day of my life if I could. If I could get paid to do this full time, I would. So
I would.
telling me you don't trust people to get PR, but either you as a creator are doing sponsorships or you are supporting other creators who are getting sponsorships, you're basically saying you only support bigger creators because more often than not, only bigger creators get sponsorships. And it's the smaller creators that get PR and have to work with what they get. So
Yes.
I
So
have lots of feelings
you're
about that.
elitist and classist at that point. Whew.
Exactly.
Jesus,
Exactly.
I'm so sorry, but like, listen, that hot flash is kicking hard, and I have a beanie on, and that makes it worse.
Wait, I'm
Ooh.
curious, Diamond. Do you mean Laura May was the only person that you saw like Lunar Lavender or dislike? Because I disliked it, Tina disliked it. There's definitely some people out there vocally saying they disliked
Ooh.
it. I'm just gonna say that. And I got NPR, and I will still say that. So yeah, I think that it's interesting when people have these perspectives, but they don't stop to like. But I agree that Oprah is a boring bread to me. Is
You know what?
uh,
Girl, listen. Here comes the tea. Oprah's highlighters are bomb. They are gorgeous. They make my life so happy. When I put one on, I feel like a fucking goddess. And I know that I'm glowing all the way to space, where I'm also from. But their shadows, baby, no.
I love roasting you because I was like, Audra discovered in 2020 that Ofra's highlighters are bomb. About
No,
time.
well, I knew it before. I knew it before
No,
because
but I also
I had
knew I'm coming from the uncooked chicken perspective, and I
uh
also had to remember that Ofra didn't maybe have highlighters that actually work for you until recently.
yeah,
So,
because I did that Rodeo, whatever. Rodeo
yeah,
Drive that I loved. And girl, listen. I was glowing to the high fucking heavens. I wore that bitch out. I actually did wear that particular highlighter out until I
nice.
broke it. So, ooh, geez. I'm so sorry. I was like right up in here in my hot flash, and I apologize.
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
welcome.
And
Yeah.
see, if Oprah did more of those duochrome, like what they did with Nikki Tutorial, then I would pay attention to them because those are pretty. But I have Kaleidos and JD Glow and Looksy, and like I had so many other indie brands that were so much more affordable than what Oprah was doing that I was just like, I'm good. But if they came out with more of those,
Ooh, and they have a bomb ass
uh,
eyeliner. I will say that their eyeliner is
yeah,
fucking tits. Like it's really good. It is a really good eyeliner. And I was
yeah.
shocked by that. But like they make eyeliner and they make highlighter, and that's where they should just like land, I guess. I am generating enough wind to shake my light. Like
Also, yes, I didn't see Diamond's other. Oh yeah, no worries. Well, welcome. Thank you for the Grinchmas sub. I didn't mean to like. I wasn't trying to call you out. It'd be like you're a liar, but just like
no.
I wanted to clarify because I couldn't tell if it was maybe a misspeak or not. But yeah, um, it's just interesting, and this is an interesting conversation to kind of keep coming back to. I think for us because like
Oh,
the
sorry.
amount of PR that we receive, other possibilities that might come our way are going to grow. I'm going to just put that out into the world. They are going to grow. And so, like, it's going to change, I think. I mean, the biases are going to adjust and change. And hopefully it's not in a way that feels comfortable for anybody watching, but like, this is also why we have conversations. you
Listen, if
know.
anybody wants to get me one of them little electric fans,
You look
my
like
PO
extra
box.
blushing now from your hot flash. I'm
It
just
is
like,
already. Like I almost showed everybody my T-tots on this live stream. Like I like pulled my shirt down. I was like, oh snap. Whew. But yeah, it is weird that people will like talk shit about PR and then like get sponsorships. And I'm like,
yeah, we've seen it. I'm gonna call it out. We've seen it in particular with certain commentary drama channels, and I'm just like, you could just stop saying those things. Just gonna say, you could just
because I feel
not
like
say.
my problem with people saying this is always going to be the same. You're fucking with somebody else's bag. Like, ain't nobody trying to come for your bag the way you're
Yeah.
trying to come for somebody else's bag. So you're literally trying to come for other creators' bag by saying like, "Oh, I only trust those who don't get PR." And it's like, okay, but nobody's trying to come for your bag. Like nobody's like I like and some of these creators, I've
Hello.
supported them. I've gone and clicked on their links, because even if you don't buy something and somebody it's just FYI, if somebody has a sponsored post, I like them, I will go click on the link just to like go there and help with the traffic, so that like people care. If I want to buy the product, I'll buy it. But if I don't want to buy it, I don't. But I just click on it, and then I like make a comment in the comments regarding the product, which I got from Josh. Let us know.
Yes.
Don't say
Josh
get that back.
came
I
in the
actually
comment,
say
made a really good point like months ago, where it's like, leave a comment related to the creator and the product together, or the
Mhm.
creator and the brand together, and not just like, yay, Audra, but like, I love seeing Audra in House of Mooney lipstick or whatever. So
Mhm.
like, oh my God, the color, the brand, like all of that stuff, where you're actually tying it together to show the brand that like, this was a good idea. So
Yes. So it's just like, if people, I think that there is a level of understanding. Like we're at a place in YouTube now where you know that people get PR, and you know that people have sponsored posts, and you know that these things are, but for anybody to say that they don't trust somebody because of PR, which I've said this multiple times, and I will always say this, it's a real funny game you play, because there's a ton of people who quote unquote buy their makeup to get on PR lists. Like that's why,
yes.
and they're not buying it. Like here's the thing: people aren't buying Charlotte Tilbury, Hourglass, Laura Mercier. They're not buying that stuff to get on their PR list. They're buying it to get on a lot of the independent brands, because that's where you start, right? So they're buying all this like fancy bitch shit for what? Like they're not getting that Hourglass foundation just so that they can be on Hourglass PR.
Yeah.
No, they're trying to get on Midas's PR, and they think like if they get all this stuff up here, enough people will start talking about them, and then they're going to get on Midas PR. Luckily, Rocio ain't no fool, but still, the
But you know
point.
what I think about I didn't realize this until recently. Okay, so somebody like Kate the Great, who their numbers might be different now. Last time I saw it was like 15K. It might be higher now. I could be off.
Almost 19
They're
now.
19K. Okay, thank you. Um, they're getting Rare Beauty PR. I
Yeah,
would not have expected to see a brand like Rare Beauty send to what is considered a smaller creator, but
fact.
it works for the aesthetics of the brand and the kinds of products that Kate likes and buys. And like, if Kate were to get, or somebody else that was already buying Charlotte Tilbury were to get Auric PR, I wouldn't be surprised,
Yeah,
because glowy skin, cream pot eyeshadows, like, so I think the thing that I've always wondered, when people say they don't trust creators that get PR, I'm like, but explain yourself. Like, show your proof. Tell
yeah.
me why you actually feel that way, without just showing me one singular creator that has busted your faith. Because that's what I want to
Yeah.
know.
And don't get me wrong, because damn, sir. Don't get me wrong. I have fallen prey to that early in the YouTube days.
Yeah.
fell prey to like, oh, if they get PR, they're liars, right?
Yeah.
Um, I had to wake myself the fuck up and be like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense. You liked them before. You were all fine and dandy. Then they got PR. And I had to start searching within myself as to why I suddenly was like, I don't trust them. Part of
Yeah.
it was propaganda, being told that if
Yeah.
somebody gets PR, they're a liar. And the other part was just straight jealousy. It was a problem with me. I was jealous. I'm sitting there
Yeah.
like, oh, I wish somebody would send me free makeup. Now look at me. I'm like, maybe people should just stop sending me as much free makeup. But like, I'm like, I love all the free makeup, but like, also, I'm running out of space for all the free makeup.
And I'm
But
like, free makeup, please give me free makeup.
oh, I'll still take it. Yeah, like, listen, is my makeup space right now a pile of mess? Yes.
And then
Am I
I'm
going to
like,
fix it at any
I'm
point in
swimming
time?
in makeup. I don't need any, but I'm like, free shit, yes. I'm that kind of person.
Listen, I
Uh,
just need a handsome they to like fan me while I film, like
yes,
while I
you
do
do.
this. So they just need a fan.
And I agree with Thor. Just because one specific girl who gets PR is a liar doesn't mean everyone who gets PR is lying.
Thank
Yeah.
you. You
Um,
can't burn the house down just because there's one spider. And also,
Exactly.
you shouldn't be burning the house down because of spiders, but I know some of y'all afraid of them, so I'll use that as an example. Sorry,
Yes.
Spiderkin. But anyway,
And with affiliate links, I feel like it's a certain cachet of time. So, like, if it's on Ulta or if it's a Sephora link or a specific brand link, even if you're not going to that item, if you're on the site and check out, and I feel like it's always different, but yeah, like it depends on the brand. But so you don't have to buy
yeah.
the specific product they got, but you can just shop on that site, whether it's a like a big brand, like I said, a Sephora, or if it's like a I don't know, Midas or whatever. So
Yeah. Like, I mean, I even use, so one of the things I do, is like for my magic links, right? So one of the things I do is I just have like links to Ulta and like to Sephora. So you can
and
just
that's
like
why
click
you
that
see
and
those
shop.
links. Yes,
You know, you
exactly.
could just click those and shop the way you're going to shop. Like, not saying you have to, but I put it that way so that you don't have to click on a specific product. You don't have to feel like you have to buy that product. You can just go there and shop for shit. I have moved to my own detriment, but I don't care because I just don't want to. But I have moved to like really, I'm only going to link products when I'm doing like a specific review or whatever. Or if somebody really asks, ooh,
To
listen,
fan you.
let me just tell you something about them Vessies. Them are not some cheap shoes. They're
And
$150 a pair of them shoes.
they don't look supportive.
They
I'm
look
just
so.
gonna say.
They look.
They're thin soles. That's not supportive.
No, they actually do. They like you have to like. Okay, well, they look supportive for my feet. I will
For
say that
you, yes. I
for
would
my
say
feet.
when you're a fat person, it's a little different though. Because
Well,
thin soles, okay, they look better than no, that's not.
here's the thing though, Emily. Please don't get mad at me. I'm going to say it.
It's okay.
White women have big feet.
I have wide feet, but not big feet. I'm like size 7, 7.5, but I'm like 4E wide. I literally have like squares for feet.
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're
Literally,
together, together.
literally. But they're not big, so I cannot buy men's shoes because most smallest men's sizes are too big for me.
But you're also like 5'2", so like that.
Yeah, so I have like no shoe options, literally.
I know. Because here's what I'm gonna say. Yes, Tia, here's where I learned. Here's how I learned about this. I'm like European, and also you have the Palestinian. So like, here's what we say: European white women have big feet. I learned this multiple times, but the first time I learned it was when I got into a car accident. Please nobody get angry at me. I'm like, please nobody get it. Like, this is the first time I thought about it. I was like, oh my god. I was 16 years old and I'm at growing, like peak growing time. You know, I'm 16, I'm doing sports, I'm athletic, all this stuff. Get into a car accident. I'm not wearing any shoes because I was just I also don't like to wear shoes. But I was just going up the street to get food for me and my mom. I end up in this car accident. This asshole hit me, hit and run, blah, blah, blah. Point is, white woman was like, here, wear my shoes. Okay. Go to the hospital in my shoes. I said, okay, lady. She wasn't significantly taller than me.
But here's the
Maybe
thing,
2
the
inches.
shoe size doesn't grow that it doesn't work that way.
She had size 10 feet. So I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, that woman had big feet, but thank you. Thank you. Lady from Abilene who gave me your shoes. I appreciate you. I'm not mad at your big feet. I'm just saying. So then I get to college and I keep like looking and I'm like, I don't understand. It's not big. They're long. Let me say that. Long.
Yeah.
Like long, like white women have just like long feet. And I don't
They
know.
look
I don't
big.
understand it.
There's because the size and width are two different things. So
Yeah.
big to me is a big size, like 10.
Yeah,
But I feel like
yeah,
it's like
10.
long but skinny is what I was like.
Yeah. And they're like long.
I like this. The sample group of one. That's why I was like, excuse me. I'm not insulted.
Wait,
I'm just confused.
wait, look.
Italian. Okay, I don't know. All I know is that my feet are fucking annoying to find anything that fits. Like New Balance, specific New Balance sneakers are usually what I wear.
I didn't even, here's the thing, I didn't even think about this until I was like a supervisor at an old company I work for, and they were always making fun of the size of my feet. Like they were like, your feet are so small, you have tiny baby feet, are you ordering kid sizes? Like they would do this to me regularly, and I was like, what are y'all talking about? And I am so flushed. But like, I was
You
like, well,
are.
what fucking size shoe do you wear? Like I wear 7 to 7.5. Okay.
Yeah.
But I guess because I am 5'8", it seems like my feet are very small in comparison with my height. So maybe white women don't have big feet. Maybe I am just tall with abnormally small feet. Fan.
Or shoe sizing makes no fucking sense, just like no other sizing does. Like nothing is explainable.
Oh, baby
Yeah.
Jesus.
I like this.
Oh.
Audra's wait, where did that go? Audra's factual facts hour. Let's make it happen.
Yes. I like her giving like stupid random facts that don't like mean anything to anyone.
First of all, welcome, Faye. You walked in towards the end of the stream where we were just winding down and talking about shoe sizes because that's how it happens here.
Yeah, we just started
Yeah.
getting into shoe sizes because like we finished.
Oh, because you were like Ryan Hollinger, Vessi, and then I'm like, those shoes
yes.
look like they are overpriced and undersupportive. And
Beach, they're waterproof.
That's not supportive, though.
First of all, I don't really listen.
Body.
Listen, for me. And I would get them in the men's sizes instead of the women's sizes, because they're just that even. Because the women's is like $20 more and it's the same shit. But I walk a dog.
Okay.
And because I walk a dog, when it's raining and shit, I would love to not have to like have wet feet when I'm walking him in the rain.
But here's the thing I don't understand, because I'm looking at their site now and they're like, no rain boots here. But you have a picture of the person just stepping in a puddle. Rain comes down from the sky, which will soak your socks before the shoes.
I'm like, let me live my life. Listen, I want my mama to get me these shoes for my birthday. I want Bessie's. I want them. I want to have them. You know why? Because Ryan Hollinger said so. And
Jesus
that
fucking Christ, they're $155.
For women's. For men's, it's $135 plus whatever discount you get using Ryan Hollinger's code. If you use his link.
No, men's are $155. I'm over there, right? Oh, they're different price points. Some of them are $135. Some of them are $155.
True.
The reason why I'm like, I would never buy something that thin in meteorology with Emily is that I literally would wear that down super fast unless they're magical. So then I would have to replace them very often.
The only reason I wouldn't, like, I normally wear shoes down because I walk I walk on the outsides of my feet.
I do too. Same.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
The only reason I don't is because, like, most of the time I don't, like, obviously I haven't had to wear shoes because I'm fucking unemployed.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't have to walk around and go to work every day.
But yeah, the sneakers I buy, usually the sole is like not that thick, but like it's not. Yeah, I can't do that. You're whiny. I'm whiny. I'm the one that's over here being like, why would you spend that much money on a fucking waterproof pair of shoes?
Also, live my life because an influencer told me so.
After this entire conversation tonight, that's what we're gonna end on.
And we're gonna hang
that's
out.
What we're gonna end on. Audra's gonna spend over $100 on shoes because Ryan Hollinger told them to do so.
He told me to.
Told you to do it. Yeah, I'm like, I'll take more platform shoes, please. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is like if I buy shoes, I usually spend like the sneakers that I buy are usually like $150, I think. But they last me for a year, usually, maybe not a full year. But like that's how quickly I wear shit down. Anyway, Yeah, no, I'm like, there's not gonna be any shoe buying anytime soon for me, period.
Yeah.
Um,
In
and
conclusion, celebrities
also
were the first ones to do this
this
whole
is
thing.
this goes into like I need like ice boots. Like I need like custom boots for or I need to move out of cold weather because I
You need
hate
to
it.
move out of cold weather
I need money again. Coming into
because
the
otherwise you just need to wear them like spike shoes, you know.
spike shoes.
I do not want to get dragged by Josh, so y'all better like this. In fact, I'm
Yeah.
so scared. I'm gonna actually go over and
Thank y'all for hanging out. If I mean, like it if you like these kinds of PR conversations. I'm sure we
yeah,
will have other inspiration to do these kind of streams in the future. But it's helpful to like know if y'all are into it, which I think everybody has been, considering how active the chat has been. So
yeah. Let's do some more of those behind the scenes
yes.
of YouTube, behind the
And
beauty YouTube scenes.
the beauty YouTube scenes, for some reason that made my brain go, what words were those? But now
Me
I get
too.
it.
They didn't go together properly, actually.
No, it works. It works. Lick that button. Yes, lick and scribble, like and subscribe. Subscribe to Audra if you're not already. Um, we're both on Twitch. Audra is Audra at home. I'm Nomnivorous. Audra's already affiliate, doing the damn thing. You should follow. Go watch the streams. Audra doesn't
Super
fucking
casual gaming.
advertise the streams, so I have to do it for you. And on that note, as Audra understands that that's the truth, we're gonna go and we will see you Tuesday again on Audra's channel for some other conversation. Please stay safe, everyone. Take care of yourself. Drink some
Cat
water
hug!
or booze or whatever. Eat the food. I don't even know what I'm seeing. I wish I could see I have to go look at it after the fact. Okay. And I'm gonna press the button and end